What's up, guys? I finally have some live Bengay action for you. This is OST quarterfinals. He's playing JayStaice, who is relatively unknown in the tournament community, but he's in the top 8, so he's obviously good. Ben has... I think this is the like semi-stall kind of team he used against Kratos Mana in SPL. He lost last time he used this team. JayStaice has just a kind of weird-looking bulky offense. The Hooper should theoretically do a lot of work, although Dugtrio can trap it. Yeah, I guess JayStaice can try to get up. Well, grassy terrain won't really help because Reversal is stronger against Hooper anyway. I guess if it's Scarf Hooper, it's going to be harder to deal with. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Hooper affects things. Now, Jay has used Calm Mind Coco before, but Ben is running Fake Out Sableye, which you don't see much in Tapu Lele meta, and his team is really weak to it too, so that's sort of surprising, but Ben's just really good at not putting himself in like bad situations, so I back him to use Fake Out Sableye even when Protect is what people should be using. So we're going to Volt Switch on the Tangrowth. Ben can't really risk his Dugtrio because that's probably going to be his like very important to deal with the Hooper. It might even be some Scarf Dugtrio. I can't remember. I don't know whether this team is in the famous Bengay archive. But I'm not going to bring up the archive right now. We've got to focus on this game. I guess Sizz could come in and just go for a U-turn. The only other play that really... Well, I guess you could go to Landorus. This would be... yes, Skarmory, so it might not be HP Ice Tangrowth, but Volcarona covers a lot of the HP Fire targets. Yeah, Tang plus Skarmory makes the Tangrowth's coverage kind of hard to assess. So Sizz does come in. This is a fairly easy U-turn. Yeah, there was no Misty... Well, there's no Misty Terrain in this battle, but that U-turn did risk a burn if Ben went to Volcarona. So Hoopy is in. The fact that he went to it on Skarmory suggests sort of that it's Specs, or at least Special. Could easily be... Well, yeah, Jay has like a whole bunch of potential Z-move Pokemon on his team. So yeah, this could be like Z Snatch or Z... I forget what the Psychic one is. But there are two Z moves that give Hooper +2 speed. And they can also just be used to power up its Dark or Psychic move, so this could be one of them, but I think it's probably Specs just based on bringing it in on the Skarmory. So Toxapex is the pivot of choice, and he tricks the Specs, giving up his eject button, so I guess Ben just planned to take one hit, like probably a Dark Pulse, and eject into Dugtrio after scouting the damage to see whether the Hooper was Specs or like Banded or Scarfed. So Toxapex is Specs now, that shouldn't matter too much. Jay, if he has Defog, would be on Sizz, but if not, the T-Spikes will hit like 4 members. So that would be pretty bad for JayStaice. He pivots into Sableye there to take the obvious Psychic move. And Hooper probably can't 2-hit KO Spadef Sableye with Dark Pulse. And Spadef Sableye is what people are running at the moment, so that you can take 2 Moonblasts from Finny most of the time and like stay in to knock it off, because Finny destroys most variants of Stall. So that's really bad flinch there, because Ben could have gotten a burn on anything, and he thankfully doesn't flinch again, but this is going to let JayStaice just like burn through 4 recovers, which is just annoying, and he can like easily just get another flinch on one of these turns. So yeah, going to Sableye wasn't a bad play, but it did of course risk like a bunch of flinches. Yeah, just painful that it happened. Yeah, that's really sad to see. Like it's awful, but Ben probably... Okay, I thought he would just take the trade there. Because if he sacks that, he can just trap this with Dugtrio. Although it is eject button, so it'll be able to escape once from Dugtrio. So I don't really know what the plan is here. Yeah, I doubt this has HP Fire. Because he has Sableye to just, like, counter Ferrothorn. And Volk and Sizz both, Volk and Skarmory both counter Sizz. So, it's probably HP Ice if it has a hidden power, but it could just be like Rock Slide, Earthquake, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb or something. So I don't think Jay really benefits from staying in here, so I guess he would just go to Sizz and U-turn again. U-turning on Volcarona doesn't really let him go into anything that threatens Ben's team too much. I guess the Landorus could be annoying if it's Continental Crush. But between Skarmory and, like, Tangrowth, he should be okay. So Ben makes a nice double into Toxapex there, which will let him get up some T-Spikes, I guess, or he could just go for a Scald now that he's got the power of the Specs. But yeah, Jay will probably just U-turn out into... Actually, he might want to stay in, because this Sizz is probably getting burnt at some point. Maybe not, but Jay has used Defog Sizz. I was watching some of his replays to educate myself for this fight, and he has used Defog Sizz and beaten like a stall team by defogging T-Spikes away consistently to keep his Tapu Lele unstatused. So yeah, like he could just stay in here and spam Bullet Punch as Ben gets up his T-Spikes, because if he like U-turns out, he's going to need to probably let something get poisoned, because he only has 2 Pokemon that are immune to poison. Well, from T-Spikes. So he is just going to stay in here expecting the T-Spikes, as Ben actually goes for a Toxic, just expecting any switch. And I just remembered that this is the Infestation... What's APR? What? How is... How is that play impressive? Like, you stay in so you can defog the T-Spikes. I don't know how all these, like, quote-unquote good players are amazed by that play. So yeah, Ben's gonna, I guess, expect him to double, like, predicting the Volcarona, but Jay is having none of it. I don't really agree with spamming Bullet Punch, though, because that's... Actually, yeah, he has to spam Bullet Punch. Yeah, that's totally fine. I am sleep-deprived again, because everyone is just in the US, and their times don't suit me. I guess this is Spikes. Actually, this needs to be Defog, which doesn't mean it's not Spikes, but yeah, this definitely needs to have Defog. So I guess this is where you'd sack the Sab... maybe not. Because the eject button is still there. So I'm thinking Ben might want to, like, hit this once before he tries to trap it with Dugtrio, but I guess it doesn't really matter. He could even go hard Dugtrio if it is sashed, because... Actually, yeah, he should have gone to Dugtrio. I think he could have just sacked Sableye earlier. And, gone to Dugtrio and Earthquaked, and even if he's, like, not sashed Dugtrio, he would have forced the Hooper out. Oh, that's a nice play, actually. Faking out. Yeah, Jay probably could have, No. Staying in was probably the right play there, just to not let the Sableye heal. So, I don't know whether that's in range of Earthquake yet. Hooper... Unbound. Dugtrio... It's like a 50% roll, probably slightly in Ben's favor after the Spikes damage. So Jay is really thinking here, like, it's not really obvious which mon he should go into. I guess Keldeo is, like, you can fish for a burn with Keldeo. But, yeah, the Toxapex is that Infestation set. And Jay has nothing immune to burn, so, like, spamming Scald and, well, yeah, just spamming Scald is going to be quite profitable for Ben, I think. So he decides to go to Koko. This will bring in Tangrowth, which lets him, yeah, just Volt into Sizz. So yeah, that's understandable. I guess he could go to he'll probably just go to Sizz, and then like if he's defog, I don't think Jay's going to be able to keep the hazards off, but you can just like defog and then you get a free switch into. Okay, he goes to Hooper there. He could trick again to take the assault vest, so Ben he magicians his specs back. Oh my god, I hate Hooper so much. Just when you think you've got it all under control, it just, like, magician just randomly makes it broken all over again. So yeah, finally time to sack him, and Dugtrio is going to be able to trap this. Hopefully, for the sake of fairness, Ben gets this Earthquake roll. You saw before that it was like 68.7% minimum, I think, and then up to like 81. So I think, considering how PS rounds... Oh, that definitely kills, never mind. So goodbye. This way he keeps his... Well, yeah, that was the time to use that for sure. Those two. I'm reading the chat. That's my buddy advantage. I think it was Frexa predicted Ben Gay to win in the OST thread, but he wrote Bean Gay instead of Ben Gay, and you probably are familiar with the Bean Lit meme. So Tennis and I are trying to make Bean Gay the new version, which is just BG. Like, sadly this acronym is already in use for Bad Game, but if you want to assist us in making this a big joke, please feel free to do so. So in comes Bulu. This is manageable, like Skarm, Volk, and Tangrowth. I'm inclined to think this is his Z move, Mon. This is like a pretty anti-stall team. So Ben goes for sub just to scout the SD, and now he can probably Toxic this. Like, sub Dugtrio without Toxic is kind of weird. And now he's got the grassy terrain healing him, so he can just, like, spam sub a few times. He doesn't have a switch into this Bulu at this point. It could be, like, Continental Crush Bulu too. And I don't know whether we've... Like, the Bulu could still be leftovers at this point, I think. Grass... Yeah, we're still not sure what the item is on the Bulu, I think. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything that's really, like, threatening Ben's team at the moment. And yeah, it looks like this Bulu is, the Z move user. Because it doesn't have leftovers. So yeah, just subs again on the Horn Leech, and I don't know whether you would go hard to Volcarona here. Because, okay, yeah, sacking Dugtrio makes more sense, I guess. So this is nearly dead. And I guess Volk comes in here and just goes for Fiery Dance to KO this. And if this gets up a Quiver Dance, it could win very quickly, although the Keldeo is probably scarfed. And this is probably going to be defensive Volk, so he needs like a fair amount of damage on Lando before he can kill that at +1. I'm not really sure what Jay is thinking about here. Like, is it really worth switching to save this as... I guess it could be worth saving this as fodder. But probably not. I don't think it's worth taking that, like, big hit on Keldeo to save this Bulu for fodder. He does, though. So, yeah, this is going to take, like... Oh, okay, Flamethrower is a move used over Fiery Dance because it has more PP, which means that Volk can break Chansey, which is an important, like, role for Volcarona to fill against stall sometimes. So Jay doubles to his Sizz, trying to get off a defog as Tangrowth comes in. And yeah, this is probably defog, but Ben gets his Volcarona back in, and like Jay's fire resists are bad. So yeah, something else is getting hit with a flamethrower here. I guess Jay could sack his Bulu here, and then when he brings Keldeo in, it'll get a little bit of grassy terrain recovery. And yeah, I think Ben has Oh, he just quiver dances. Okay, so I guess Hydro Pump doesn't kill. Oh, he crits Stone Edge. I imagine that mattered. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I'm gonna trust Ben and say that that mattered. I don't know whether it was worth risking so soon. Because you can't even kill Lando at +1. Yeah, I think he probably could have played it more conservatively because he has two... Like, Ben has 2 regen walls that can just switch into this indefinitely, and Coco... I guess Ben has to be scared of the Landorus. So yeah, Coco's gonna come in on the likely spike. And Ben still has like the defensive tools to win, but obviously annoying to see that happen. And this Sizz is gonna be able to defog pretty regularly. Yeah, I don't think that was like necessarily a bad time to go for Quiver. Maybe it just was, because like if he gets +1, Jay can just like sack his Bulu, and provided Ben doesn't like predict that and go for Roost, he just brings in Landorus after that, and that keeps the Volcarona really low. It would probably get a chance to heal, but it would mean that Ben wouldn't be able to go hard into Volcarona on the Sizz. Alright, so Sizz finally comes in, and it has used no Roosts. So this is going to be fail. No, Ben will win if this keeps following the same route. Because, like, Sizz is losing defog PP faster than Ben is losing Spike's PP. So, okay, it is CM, but this doesn't make any sense. I guess this could be the Z move 1, but yeah, like, this is an AV Tangrowth, you're not going to break through this. So yeah, he just goes back to Sizz on the Earthquake, I guess. And yeah, Ben can just go to Toxapex and go for a Scald here. And every Scald is going to be really useful too. But he decides to go to Skarmory, which is presumably the right play because Ben is just better than I am. Yeah, like, there's nothing wrong with... Why would you do that? Oh, Ben is... I just don't understand why he does these things sometimes. So, Toxapex comes in. This Scald is going to burn. Okay, never mind. But yeah, this doesn't have T-Spikes. Yeah, I think you would just Scald here. That defog was just kind of whack when you could just, like, Whirlwind or... Like, I understand why... Okay, you can't Whirlwind because then the Sizz gets to defog for free. You don't want to spike... Well, I guess he could... Yeah, he should just be spiking at this point. He just needs to have 3 more spikes PP than JayStaice has defogs. So, like, using a defog at that point just saves JayStaice a defog. So that's, like, predicting the defog super hard for not much reason. So he... Yep, no burns, okay. And, let's see, this Toxapex is getting KO'd in 4 turns if it gets burnt at any point. And Keldeo's gonna probably die in 3 if these rolls stay the same. Nope, it's gonna take 4 for Keldeo too. So, I think it would be... Yeah, better to have the burn on Toxapex than Tangrowth. And we're just seeing 0 burn. There we go. And Ben should go to Tangrowth here, surely. I don't think he's really in a position to sack Toxapex. Like, it can still be really useful. So Jay's going to make a nice play there and double to... Oh, right, I forgot that this lost its specs. Okay, that's really useful for Ben, like, for sure. I thought that Toxapex was still specs. So yeah, now we're back into this grind with the U-turning on the Skarmory, Tapu Koko coming in. I guess Ben could have gone to Pex there, but he knows what he's doing. Like, he's played hundreds of games with all of his teams, so he just, like, always knows what to do. But yeah, I think if he gets into that cycle again with the, like, spike on the Sizz... Yeah, because Jay is dealing, like, net 0 damage. He needs to go to Keldeo more and just fish for Scald Burns to make progress. Like, going to Koko is doing nothing. Like, after regen, Volt Switch does 0 damage, and after leftovers, U-turn does 0 damage. So he's just wasting his own PP in this Volt-turn cycle. But if you go to Keldeo, you can threaten to burn stuff, and I don't know whether it would put enough pressure on, like, Toxapex or... Actually, no, his Keldeo's, like, dead after one turn of burn, so he can only go to Koko here. Yeah, I think it's looking good for Ben. Because, like, again, you just go to Tangrowth here on the... Okay, Calm Mind. This isn't, like, a stupid play from JayStaice, because doing this, forces the Tangrowth to attack, which means it's using PP. So he goes to Lando here, which is an abrupt change, and Ben goes for HP Ice somehow. And then he's going to assume that this is like Helmet Lando and just stay in. Yeah, U-turn did 30, so I guess we can just check that that's Helmet, but that doesn't strike me as Scarf damage. Lander is T. Oops. U-turn. What? Oh, I'm not my strongest showing. So yeah, that's just Helmet Lando damage. And yeah, this is going to be a little bit cyclical. There's a crit on the Tangrowth. Little unfortunate. Okay, so I've just been going in this cycle for, like, I don't know, 20 turns, and now T-Bolt Para on the Tangrowth has shaken things up a bit, I guess. JayStaice did condition Ben nicely to not use Earthquake with his Tangrowth, so yeah, and Volt Switch is, like, critting the Tangrowth about 60% of the time, so yeah. Jay is, I guess, applying pressure through this Voltage Sposi Hex. And ABR is really rooting against Bengay because Bengay always beats ABR. And if we could see Bengay versus ABR in the next round, that would be my dream come true. Okay, so this is not Roost. Well, like, obviously, it showed Volt Switch 5 years ago, but it's not Roost Koko, so... yep, nearly dead. Yep, that's very close to dead. So I don't know, maybe Jay was just tired of being patient. But yeah. I guess he's lucky that he didn't die to EQ. That looks like a really low roll. Ben goes to Toxapex. I don't know why you would do that. I guess you get, like, a tiny bit more on your Tangrowth so you don't die to a crit HP Ice, and this Koko has shown a propensity to crit as he doesn't get critted again. Bulu is, like, on the precipice of death, so is Keldeo, it dies to burn, so yeah, Keldeo's here and it dies to burn. So he doubles to Bulu expecting the Toxapex, which happens. I don't think this really gets Jay far. He's healing with, wow, okay, he goes for the, the bug Z move, okay. I don't know what that's for, but yeah, congrats, Ben. well played to get past the crit on Volcarona, and I'll probably just like speed up that cyclical portion in the middle. But yeah, interesting game. I don't mean to make light of the PP management and stuff, but I don't think anyone wants to watch it. Like, it's just not interesting to narrate. But Jay was kind of trying to stall out the earthquakes on Tangrowth so that his Carmine Coco could potentially win, but Ben just like wasn't using his earthquakes because he's too smart. And yeah, Jay was hacking quite a lot, but it wasn't enough. So yep, game 2 in just a sec.